Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. So today we are gonna be looking at some of the games played in the Fide World Cup 2025. So let's get started. The first game we will be looking at is between Gukesh and Frederick Swan. So let's look at the game. E4, E5, Knight F3, Knight C6, Bishop C4. Gukesh plays the Italian system, Italian game. Knight F6, D3, Bishop C5, short castles, D6, C3, A5, expanding on the queen side. Rook E1, short castles. H3, H3 is played to prevent this move. This bishop coming to this square over here. Next H6, knight BD2, bishop D6. A4, bishop D7, B3, bishop E6 is played, providing an trade of the bishops, opening an opportunity for trade. Gukesh plays bishop B2, king H8, and then rook A2, knight H5, knight F1, knight F4, bishop C1, queen F6, knight G3, G5. G5 here, it's a provocative move. G5 here attacks the king side and here creates this pawn wall, very smooth and very strong pawn wall over here from black, and black is pressing over here. Like in the evaluation bar, it may seem as if it's 0.0 it's mentioning, but still black here is pressing white. Knight h2, queen g6, bishop e3, d5, breaking open in the center. Takes, takes, takes. Knight f3, rook a d8, rook d2, bishop takes c4, d takes c4, f6, knight e4, rook takes d2, queen takes d2, rook d8, queen e3, f5. f5 here is great move. f5 kicks the knight away from the e4 square to, and now it goes to knight g3. Knight d3 here is a very good outpost for the knight. As you can see, it can't be kicked away from anywhere. This knight is very good over here. f4 again, great move. Queen e4, king h7, queen g6 check, king g6, knight e4, king f5, knight fd2, knight c5. Here is a questionable move. Like he could have played something better. Rook e1, knight d3, rook b1, h5. Again expanding on the king side. King f1, knight c5, f3. Great move from Gukesh. Knight rook d3. Rook d3, as you can see, black is pressing on the d3 square. D3 square is very soft for white. So they are pressing on this square and they are putting a lot of pressure over here. The rook came over here. The knights are eyeing this square. This square is really very dangerous for white. King f2, g4, h takes g4, h takes g4, rook e1, g3 check, king e2, rook e check, king d1, rook takes e1 check, king takes e1, king e6, king d1, knight e7. Now black is just maneuvering his knights here and there and steadily focusing on the plan. As you can see the evaluation bar, it's 1.1 for black. It's minus 1.10. King e2, knight f5, knight g5 check, king e7, knight g4, king e6, knight g5 check. Again, Gukesh tries to repeat the position because he wants a draw. But obviously his opponent here won't let him have it that easy. Here again repetition arrives. Gukesh places his knight in the center of the board, e4, but again he plays king d3, and king d3 here is a very bad mistake because he allows the black's knight to enter into the position, and here knight takes on g2, takes, and then knight e3, king e2, knight takes on c4, and here Gukesh resigned because obviously this endgame is winning for black and there is no chance for white, no counterplay for white. Okay, so this was the game. Let's look at the next game between Arjun Erigaisi and Sam Siddin, I don't know how to pronounce his name, so please excuse me for that. The game started off with d4, knight f6, c4, e6, knight f3, d5, knight c3, c5, c takes d5, c takes d4, queen a4 check, bishop d7. Bishop here stops the queen from eyeing the king. The queen is eyeing the king right now, so the bishop is blocking it simply. Queen takes on d4, e takes d5, knight takes d5, queen a5 check, knight back to c3, knight c6, queen d1, because knight was attacking the queen, so simply the queen came back. Knight e4, bishop d2, knight takes d2, knight takes d2, bishop b4. Bishop b4 here puts pressure on this knight, as you can see. The queen is also putting pressure on this knight. This knight right now is defended only by this pawn. So let's see what happens. Rook c1, bishop takes c3, rook takes c3, queen takes a2. That pawn was free over there. So right now white is having 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 pawns, and black is also having 5 pawns. So knight c4, bishop e6, attacking the knight. e4, rook d8, knight d6 check is given a great move. King f8, queen d2, queen a4, f4, queen b4, e5, f6. f6 here is a questionable move, because you can just develop your pieces or you can just break open the center. F takes e5, f takes e5, knight takes e5, short castles. Short castles here is given a great move. King g8, bishop f5, bishop f7. Rook c8. Rook c8 is given a double exclamation mark, a brilliant move over here, because the reason being, now he plays queen b6 check, rook f2, rook takes c8, bishop takes c8, h5, knight takes f7, knight takes f7, queen d5, king h7, queen takes f7, and here Arjun won the game. Black resigned. So let's head over to the next game. Pragnananda versus Robert. The some surname is something. Wait, I have to pronounce it also. Robert Hovhannissian. Okay, the name is really tricky, and I can't pronounce it properly. So please excuse me for that. E4, E5, knight F3, knight F6. Here there is a Petrov defense. D4, knight takes E4, bishop D3, D5. Knight takes E5, knight D7. Short castles, knight takes E5. D takes E5, knight C5, bishop E2, bishop E7. Normal development over here. Bishop E3, short castles. C3, B6, knight D2, bishop B7, F4, F6. F6 here attacks the pawn on E5 and puts pressure on it. B4, knight E4, knight takes E4, D takes E4, queen B3 check, king H8, rook A D1, queen E8, E6, F5, rook D7, bishop C8, rook fd1, rook fd1 here is given a blunder. Right now I don't know why. Bishop takes is a miss. Rook takes d7, c5, b5, bishop f6, a4, queen g6, a5, rook fe8, a6, rook e7, queen d5, rook b8, rook takes e7, bishop takes e7, queen d7, queen e8, queen takes a7, queen d8, king f2, bishop d6, queen f7, queen h4, king f1, rook f8, queen b7, queen takes h2, e7, rook g8, and white promotes a pawn to the queen over here. That is also a brilliant move. E8 equals queen, rook takes e8, queen d7, rook g8, queen takes d6, queen g3, queen d2, queen h4, bishop c4, rook h8. Sorry, rook d8, bishop d5, queen h1 check, bishop back, defending the king from the queen's check. So queen h6, and here a7, queen d6, and bishop e3. Here Pragnananda wins the game. He has an advantage of 5.9 plus, so he converts the rest of the game very easily. He is having 5 pawns and his opponent is having 6 pawns, but he is having 2 bishops for a rook, which is better, and his pawn is also about to promote, so that is why he is in a better position. Let's head over to the next game. The next game was played between Anish Giri and Alexander Donchenko, his name. So he's from Germany, and let's review the game. D4, knight f6, c4, e6, knight c3, bishop b4. Here is played e3, short castles, bishop d3, normal developing moves, rook e8, knight e2, d5, short castles, bishop f8, e4, d takes e4, knight takes e4, knight takes e4, takes, knight d7, queen c2, f5, bishop f3, c6, sorry, g3, e5, bishop g2, e takes d4, knight takes d4, knight e5, rook d1, queen f6. Queen f6 is putting the queen on a very active diagonal, and here c5, a5, expanding on the queen side, queen f7, g h3, h6, rook e1, bishop d7, f4, knight g6, bishop e3, rook e7, bishop f2, rook a c8, takes, and here rook e1, knight d5, centralizing the knight. Rook takes on e8 is given a great move. Queen takes, knight b4, queen b1, queen h5, knight d6, bishop into h3, bishop takes h3, queen takes h3, queen g6, queen d7, f5, knight d5, bishop d4, queen e7, king f1, b5, a4. Here a4 stops black from expanding more on the queen side. Takes, queen d7, f6, knight takes f6, bishop takes f6, queen e6, knight e4, queen c4 check, king g2, queen e2 check, and the queen has just entered the white's camp, but as you can see, that's of no use. Why? Because white's king is in the proper place and it can't be checked that easily. You can give checks, but the king can just hide from the checks, and white over here has a crushing attack. As you can see, nothing happens after a lot of checks, and here Anish Giri resigns and his opponent won. So let's look at the next game. So it was a game between Vincent Kaimer and M. Pranesh from India. So let's look at the game. E4, E5, knight F3, knight C6, bishop B5. That's Rui Lopez, a Spanish. Let's see what happens. Here plays normal developmental moves like this. And now Pranesh reroutes his knight over to the king side. As you can see, knight is on G3. And he plays b3 right now, queen c6, rook d1, h5, h3, rook e8, c4, bishop b7, knight e2, a4, knight c3, a takes b3, a takes b3, bishop f8, queen c1, bishop to g7, knight d5, queen d6, knight g5, c6. Here attacks the knight, knight just backs off. Bishop c8, king h1, f6, knight f3, knight f8, knight h4, queen d8, f3, rook a7, g4, h takes g4, h takes g4, king f7. Rook e2 is given a questionable move, but it is just a normal developmental move because he didn't have anything else to do in the position. Like there is no other thing which you can do over here that much. Knight here, rook here, queen b2, then knight d4, rook f1, knight e6, knight g2, rook takes h2, king takes h2, queen h8 check, king g1, knight d4, knight e2, bishop e6, knight c3, queen h3, bishop takes d4, c takes d4, knight a4, bishop h6, king f2, queen h2, king e1, bishop f8, knight b6, queen g3 check, king d1, queen takes g2 is given a brilliancy because after, for example, white captures here with their queen, then what happens is black gives a check over here and the king has to move up, and the rook gives a check over here and simply loses the queen, as you can see. So that's what happened. King e2, rook a2 check, and here Vincent Keimer won and Pranesh lost. Pranesh resigned over here. So thank you guys for watching. I am very happy to bring these videos to you, and please like, share and subscribe. This is a new channel, and thank you very much. I would appreciate it. So yeah, bye for now.